Hello, my lovely friends, and welcome back to Grow Every Day, the podcast that's like your best girlfriend, here to chat about upgrading our lives together one day at a time. Have you ever had one of those days, you know the kind, where you do a million things, you're running around, handling this and that, until you're completely exhausted. But then, when you finally get a quiet moment at night, you look back and think, did I actually make any progress on my real goals? You feel so incredibly busy, but the happiness or success you're chasing still feels miles away. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then I am so glad you're here today, because we're going to talk about a secret weapon that helps us do less, but achieve so much more. This amazing tool has a cool name, the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto Principle. Now, I know it might sound like a complicated math equation, but trust me, it's so much simpler than you think. And it's one of those concepts that has genuinely changed the lives of countless successful people. Today, we're going to break it down best friend chat style and figure out how we can apply it to our daily lives, from our work and relationships to our own personal happiness. If you're ready, let's go figure this out together. Okay, so first things first, let's get properly introduced to this new friend of ours. The 80-20 rule, or the Pareto Principle, was discovered by an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto. The story starts in his garden, of all places. He noticed something kind of odd about his pea plants. He found that just 20% of his pea pods were producing 80% of all the healthy, delicious peas. Being an economist, his mind started churning, and he wondered if this applied to other things. And he found something fascinating. He discovered that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by just 20% of the population. From that simple observation in a garden, a powerful principle was born, one that people have found to be true in so many areas of life. The core idea of the 80-20 rule is this: a large majority of results, about 80%, comes from a small minority of causes or efforts, about 20%. Does that sound a little confusing? Let's break it down with some simple examples from our own lives. The clothes in your closet. Let's be honest, we probably wear our favorite 20% of clothes about 80% of the time, right? The rest just hang there, waiting for that one day we promise them. Your friends on social media. You might have hundreds or even thousands of friends, but the people you actually talk to, whose posts you like, the ones you truly interact with, it's likely only about 20% of them. The apps on your phone. Your screen might be cluttered with apps, but the ones you open and use every single day are probably just a handful, that essential 20%. See? It's all around us. What this rule is trying to tell us is that the world isn't a fair 50-50 split. Not everything we do carries the same weight or produces the same result. Instead, there are always the vital few, the small number of things that matter immensely, and the trivial many, the large number of things that don't matter nearly as much. Our goal today is to become detectives. We're going to investigate our own lives to find our vital 20%, so we can take our precious time and energy and pour it into those things to create the 80% results we truly want. Okay, this is the most fun part. It's time to actually go on the hunt for our magic 20% in different areas of our lives. I want to invite you to grab a pen and paper or just open the Notes app on your phone, and let's think through some of these questions together. Area number 1, your work and productivity. For all my friends out there who are working, whether it's a 9-to-5, a freelance hustle, or your own business, ask yourself this: what are the 20% of my tasks that generate 80% of my results or income? Maybe it's talking to your key clients, or the time you spend on strategic planning, or the creative work that really moves the needle. Compare that to the other stuff: answering minor emails, sitting in meetings with no clear purpose, or organizing files. Those things might make you feel busy, but they're likely part of the 80% of effort that only yields a tiny result. Area number 2, your happiness and relationships. This one is so important because our lives are so much more than just work. Really take a moment and check in with your heart on this one. Who are the 20% of people in my life that bring me 80% of my joy and positive energy? This might be your family, a small group of close friends, or your partner. Let's actually list their names down. These are the people who deserve our most precious time and attention. What are the 20% of activities that make me feel 80% happy and fulfilled? Maybe it's reading a book in total silence, going for a walk in a park, getting lost in a creative hobby, or binge watching your favorite comfort show. Find those activities. Name them. Area number 3, your physical and mental health. We can't grow if we're not feeling well, right? So let's do a little checkup here. What are the 20% of health habits that give me 80% of my energy and freshness? For some of us, it might just be getting a full 8 hours of sleep. For others, it's a quick 15-minute walk in the morning or simply drinking enough water throughout the day. These are often the small things we overlook that have a massive impact. What are the 20% of triggers that cause 80% of my stress or anxiety? Is it scrolling through negative news, comparing yourself to others on Instagram, or worrying about things that haven't happened yet? Knowing the main cause helps us deal with it directly. Doing this isn't about being critical of yourself. It's about gaining clarity. It's like a yearly checkup for your life. Once you have a clear picture of your magic 20% in each area, the next step becomes so much easier. Okay, friends, so now we have a rough list of our vital 20%. It's time to take that knowledge and turn it into a real plan of action. And honestly, it only involves a couple of simple steps. Step 1, amplify the 20%. This is the simplest and most direct step. Once we know what's important, we just have to do more of it. We have to invest our time and energy into those things with intention. For work, try time blocking an hour or 2 every morning to focus only on your most important task, your 20% task. No email, no phone. For relationships, intentionally schedule a call or a coffee date with the people on your 20% list. Make that time high quality and focused on them. For happiness, if reading is the 20% that brings you 80% of your joy, then make a non-negotiable appointment with yourself to read for 15 to 30 minutes every single day. The key here is to be intentional about choosing high-impact activities instead of just letting the day happen to you. Step number 2, minimize the 80%. This step can feel a little challenging, I know, but it's so critical. It's about being brave enough to reduce, release, delegate, or eliminate the things that aren't that important, our 80% of effort. Learn to say no. Politely decline invitations or meetings that don't align with your goals. Set boundaries. Limit your time on social media or news sites that you know cause you stress. Let go of perfectionism. Sometimes an 80% task doesn't need to be 100% perfect. Good enough is okay, so you can save your best energy for the 20% tasks that really matter. Release draining relationships. This can sound harsh, but we need to slowly reduce the time we spend with people who consistently make us feel bad about ourselves. This frees up so much energy to nurture our positive relationships. A quick reminder, 80-20 is a guideline, not a strict rule. One last thing I really want to share with you, my friends. The numbers 80 and 20 are just a memorable way to describe the concept. In real life, it might be 90-10 or 70-30. The point isn't the exact numbers. The point is the principle of imbalance, the idea that results and efforts are rarely distributed evenly. So please don't get stressed out trying to find the perfect numbers. Just use this as a new pair of glasses to see your life and the world. It's a tool to help you make better decisions about where to focus and what to let go of. And that is the 80-20 rule in a nutshell. To sum it all up, it's about shifting from just working harder to working smarter. It's about letting go of the belief that doing more is always the answer, and instead starting to ask ourselves a powerful question. What is the small thing I can do that will create the biggest positive impact? Try asking yourself that question every day. When you're deciding what to work on in the morning, who to spend time with in the evening, or what to do on your weekend. Growth doesn't always mean adding new things to your life. Sometimes the most powerful form of growth comes from having the courage to cut away what's not essential, to make space for what truly matters to flourish. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and growing with me today. If you enjoyed our little chat, please be sure to subscribe to Grow Every Day so you don't miss out on more ideas and inspiration for your personal development journey. For today, that's all for me. I hope you all go out and find your magic 20%. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.